Hello, and welcome back to some more Dicentra. Once again, if you guys are not caught up, there's going to be a link above in the top right, I believe, of the video that you guys can tap on and catch up. Like I said last time, I have so many questions now. What are the monstrosity, like, what are the monstrosity that Dove painted on her window? What happened during the dinner? And what does he mean by, oh, I only need you to bring back Hyptia? Does he not know that we, like, completely destroyed her body? Everything is gone? Okay, well, we're just gonna pick up where we were last time. I turn down the hallway and hear a whooshing sound as every candle and light in the house is extinguished. I hear Dove gasp and the entire mansion groan. Then one by one the dark red eyes blink into existence until the hallway is speckled with them. First, I freeze when I hear the voice of the boy come from right behind me. I will deal with you. I immediately break into a run. Please don't get hurt, Dove. I break into the study and heave as I catch my breath. My feet sprint over to the shelves and knock over books and bottles. I dig through jars of ambiguous preserved objects, searching high and low for secrets. Dove said that if there's a key to how the witch comes and goes out of the mansion, it would be in here and nowhere else. She'd never try to look for it all these years because she did not have a reason to leave until now. The mansion consumes so much magic to do everything it does, which limits how much is available for him to use. He wouldn't waste energy when he's been using so much of it to research how to revive my mother first, and keep me in prison second. Dove looks away for a moment. Even then, with all the magic he devours, there's scarcely any left. Dove's eyes glaze over, and she stares blankly at the air that surrounds us. When there's barely anything else, he uses the blood caps. I knew it! I knew it! The blood caps were like some form of like mana regen or stimulant. And that's why he acts a little cuckoo. I don't know a thing about my father, but I know my father. My heart tugs as I remember the plan Dove had devised. I'll finally have the privilege of having his attention all to myself. While you find the thing that will open this manor's door. I leap onto a stool and claw my way onto the table that stands in the middle of the room. My eyes rake through the small bowls of crushed herbs, stack of journals, and hastily written notes, but nothing resembles what could be the key that unlocks these walls. It has to be here somewhere. I use the height of the table to my advantage and drag my gaze through every corner of the room. Maybe there's a button or something? A map? I sift through my own memories. It feels like the clue was already within me, but it refuses to resurface. The rattle of chains disrupt my line of thinking. Then something in my mind clicks. My ears twist on my head, following the sound, then my eyes land on it. Sitting on the witch's shrine shines a silver throuble. Strings of delicate chains drape off the edge, and purple smoke curls out of the incense holder. My nose soaks up a woody, spicy scent, and suddenly, I'm pulled back to the very first day. I remember the smell and the sound of chains moving in a controlled motion. The key. I have no doubt about it. This has to be it. I jump off the study and bolt for the witch's shrine. I'm just inches away from snapping my teeth around the hanging chains when the eyes of every skull in the shrine comes to life. I skid to a halt as a red glow materializes in the once lifeless shadows of the skull's eye sockets. Suddenly, it feels like I have the weight of 1,000 eyes upon me. Their voices strike me like lightning, all screaming out for the same thing. Alexis. Oh, is that his name? The floorboards underneath me tremble from the fury that comes through the shrine. My heart completely drops into the acid of my stomach. Then another scream has me spinning. Basil. My ears pick up the sound of footsteps coming closer to the study. A set of light ones and heavy ones. I panic. My eyes jump between the thurible and the door. Oh, gods. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, I'm saving in a different thing. We need to grab the thurible. I yank the thurible down onto the floor and start to pick it up with my mouth. Then the door to the study creaks open. Ice spreads through my veins. Why, Reverend Mother, I'm so honored to have you lighting up my shrine again so soon. The witch slowly approaches the shrine as I slip under the shadow of the table and softly pad towards the exit. The mirror that had once been dull now reflects his portrait as he sets up the shrine. You fiend, save me your honeyed words and answer me. Is it true they have visited you for her? The witch frowns and crosses his arms behind his back. Yes, I did not believe it at first. The words it has been whispering to me at night were nonsense. The witch pulls his arms forward and massages the tattooed magic circle in the back of his hand. But now, I must do as it asks. Ask? What do they bid you to do, brother? The witch's eyes pierce into the glowing orbs of the Reverend Mother's skull. I must return their child to them. Return! The shrine bursts into flames, and the skulls all release shrill screams that rattle every window and surface. No! The Reverend Mother emits one last shriek before her connection to the shrine is severed. The witch watches the flames with no remorse, and I can see the blood that trails down the magic circle in his hand. He stumbles slightly on unsteady legs and breaks into a violent cough. His magic is unstable. I dare to observe him just a little longer, then a shrill cry rings down the hallway. Basil! My head snaps around, making the chains in my mouth jingle, drawing the witch's attention. We need to go. We need to run. His gaze slams down on me, standing in the doorway, seconds away from slipping out, but he does not move to give me a chance. He wipes away a streak of blood that trails down his chin, then straightens. There you are, little puppy. Time to go on a walk. I'll take you on a personal tour through hell. A fur along my spine puffs up when the boy appears right behind me. He grins wickedly and his carmine eyes crinkle behind the bone-white wolf skull. Blood runs down his face from under the mask. I breathe out in quick puffs as the boy blocks my way out of the room, but I see a single, perhaps slightly insane, opportunity. Just as he reaches down for me, pale hands starting to blaze with bleeding circles, I slip out between his legs. What? I stick out my tongue as I bound away. Stupid witch. I find Dove standing in the hallway crying into the balls of her hands. When she sees me, she sucks in a sharp breath and starts to rush over to me. I run my eyes up and down her length and breathe out a sigh of relief when I conclude no harm has come to her. Oh, we need to get out of here. We have the thurible. Go! I thought he got you. Dove throws her arms around me and I can feel her shake. Well, sis, he is right behind us and we need to go. The thurible slips from my mouth and clatters onto the floor. My tail wags in her embrace, and so quickly she turns still as stone. I back away in confusion. Dove looks down at the ropes of black string that wrap around her, then gives me one last look of terror before the strings rip her away from me and down the darkness of the hallway. No! Her screams pound in my ears as the house swallows her. In the chilling silence that follows, I hear chains. Looking for this, doggy? I turn my head and capture just a glimpse of the boy before he melts into the darkness. I twist my neck, trying to follow the phantasmal movements that stalk me in the gloom. I can hear the chain of the thurible swinging, the smell, the smoke that escapes it, but all around me is nothingness. The sound of the chains move back and forth like a pendulum. Time to play a little game. I twirl around and come face to face with the boy crouching down to my level. He gives me an ear-to-ear grin. Basil. My heart almost explodes in my chest. He reaches towards me and I hold my breath. His hand wraps around my snout and gives it a rough pull. His vermilion eyes deepen until they're almost black, and he glares down at me. "Tak, you're it." I glance down at the throuble in his hand and break for it. My attempt to reclaim the incense holder means nothing but air. The boy melts into the shadows once again, and his voice bounces off the walls from every direction, rendering it impossible to pinpoint its source. "Catch me, and maybe you can have your prize." The sound of clinking chains start to vanish down the hall. I inhale deeply, then exhale. Then I start to chase it. I swear, past, present, and future, there will never be a single version of these hallways that does not covet my hatred. I pant as I reach a dead end in the hallway. This labyrinth had almost started to become familiar to me, but now it's as if everything has been reset back to nonsense. Yep, 'cause it moves. I retrace my steps back to a set of diverging hallways. I pick up the sound of chains coming from the left, but from the right there's another sound. My chest tightens. I don't have time for this. Oh, shit. I'm gonna save again. Let's go right. I tiptoe down the right hallway, and the sound I've come to investigate grows clearer. I recognize what awaits me from the sound alone. The dull clinking of fluttering velvet wings against glass makes my ears stand up straight. Oh, this might be useful. In the dark, the bioluminescent red wings of doves' moths clash within the jar that traps them. It sits mysteriously right in the middle of the floor like a lantern floating in the middle of the sea. I dare to think it had been placed here just for me to find, because I'm finding that there is little coincidence to the strangeness that occurs here. My head spins as I search for whoever, or whatever, could have left the moths here, and all I find is eerie emptiness. I stare down the jar in contemplation, then I wrap my jaws around the glass and carefully pick it up. Perhaps this is a sign of divine intervention, but a terrible feeling tells me something more wicked is brewing here. My pace quickens as I search for the boy. I'm panting heavily when I finally come to a stop again. After a series of running through doors, finding dead ends, and leaping through perilous gaps in the floor, I find myself face to face with the hidden door, the one I've slipped through a handful of times by now. It's held wide open for me, beckoning me to enter. Interesting. I sneak into the greenhouse on drenched paws from the rain and keep my body low to the ground. When I had first walked into the greenhouse, it was bursting with color and life. The rose bush was a shard of the night sky that had fallen down to earth. Now there is not a star that remains amongst the withered veins of vines and leaves. My heart mourns its loss, as it was grand. It was as grand as it was monstrous in its desire for blood, but I still found it no less lovely. When it still stood in all of its grandness, I had found Dove at the base of the rosebush. Now, as its most lifelessness, I find the witch. He holds something in his hand, and he brings it to his mouth. Blood caps. It almost looks like crystallized gore. Its glow does not dull, even in a dehydrated state. Streaks of light pierce through the witch's fingers as if he was holding a piece of the sun. The dried mushroom crunches loudly between his teeth, and when he swallows, the boon of the blood caps brings him to his knees. His body seizes and his legs lock up, dropping him to the tiled floor. A wet cough claws up his throat, and his body shakes in a way that looks painful. He gasps for air. A glowing cloak of red light pulses over his body briefly. These two guys are crashing out. They're crashing. When the violent effects of the blood cap finally starts to settle, the witch wipes his mouth and moves until he is kneeling in front of a small bundle of withered flowers. I watch as he digs into the pocket of his trousers and produces a small notebook. He snaps it open with a flick of his wrist. A chunk of chalk is wedged between the pages. Immediately, he draws out a magic circle in the floor before the dead flora. A gust of wind blows into the greenhouse and swirls through the space, sweeping the scent of wood and spice into my nose. I slowly move around, watching the witch's back intensely, until the throuble comes into view. The moth jar cradled between my teeth seems to burst with vigor the closer I get to the witch. Let them out! Let them out! Do it, Basil! Do it! The silver censer sits at the witch's side. I can feel my blood rushing through my veins, and I move in. The air shimmers with magic when the witch activates the magic circle he's drawn. I catch a glimpse of hooded purple flowers blooming back to life. Then a twig snaps under my paw. Oh. Uh-oh. The witch's head snaps in my direction. Up close, I can see his bloodshot scarlet eyes behind his skull mask and the sheen of sweat over his pale skin. He glances down to the throuble at my feet. Then I throw down the jar of carnivorous moths onto the floor with every scrap of my might. The witch yells out as a cloud of red wings explodes right in his face. The sound of high-pitched chirping vibrates through the air and makes my ears go flat on my head. There are far more moths than what was contained, but I take it as a magical blessing. I dive for the throuble between the chaos. As soon as I have the chains of the throuble between my teeth, the squeaking of the moths vanish. I throw my head up, then shrink back in terror. The boy stands before me, jaw clenched in a sneer. Every moth that had attacked the witch had been incinerated and now floss to the floor in ashes. The boy holds up his fist. The magic circle in the back of his hand oozes blood dripping down past his wrist. Dear gods, these guys must have an iron deficiency at this point. His image wavers as the witch rises to his full height behind him. He raises both his arms and spreads them like wings. Red magic circles blossom over his exposed skin simultaneously with the witch's. The floor beneath me lurches and trembles, making me stumble on shaky legs. I hear two voices merge into one. You will not be leaving this place. Alive. Or dead. Oh no, this is different. I like the music though. I clench my jaw around the chains of the throuble. The boy's sick, twisted grin merges with the witch's rageful expression, like parting smoke as he takes a step towards me, brimming with magic. The entire mansion rumbles as I dodge creeping vines rushing away from the witch and out of the greenhouse and slippery tiles. When I'm back inside, I throw myself through the hidden door and roll onto the floor. Rain soaks my fur and my vision spirals. My senses take a moment to return to me, and when they do, a noise pounds against my skull. Grandfather clock lets out a blaring toll that rings down the halls. I release a shaky breath and squint at how bright everything is now. It's like I've stepped into a completely different house. We are at a boss fight! Oh. The walls bleed a red so bright it strains my eyes. Crimson runs down the window's panels, making the space feel like it's closing in on me with every toll of the clock. In addition, my whole body tenses as I look up to the ceiling. Suddenly, I miss having shadows to blend into. Maybe then I wouldn't feel so exposed to the bone-white faces of dolls that hang in tangles of string. I instinctively try to lower myself to the floorboards. The blood that pumps from them is sticky and warm. Wood and bone rattle above me in reaction to the sound of the throuble's chains clinking. The chains will attract their attention. My mind starts to spiral. I feel every chime of the clock's bell like a lash. Maybe I can match each swing to the bell. I straighten my neck and hold my head up a little higher. Every time I heard the witch use the throuble, it sounded like it was strung in a controlled rhythm. Iron clings from the top of the spiral staircase. I have to find Dove now. I slowly move forward and then start swinging the throuble. Oh gods. Oh, this actually is a boss fight. Oh shit. Okay, hold on. Click the symbol before the timer runs out. I don't get it. I freeze at the crack of every doll's head snapping in my direction. Oh gods. I messed up the timing. I go numb with dread. We'll just see what happens. I blink and every doll now stands on the ground, completely surrounding me. You can't abandon us, Dove. Found you. Now, what to do with you? glowing orbs behind the wolf skull pin me to my spot. He rakes them over the hallway, searching for an answer. Then his eyes light up when he lands on the crowd of dolls. We're just gonna go through this and then reload if something horrible happens. Like death. Ah, no, there's an idea. He takes a step towards me and I shrink to the floor. Since you're already her favorite toy, I have to make sure she never loses you. Well, I think we're dead. Dove is crying. She hiccups loudly and crushes me against her chest. What's wrong, Dove? I feel so strange. I want to comfort Dove. Dove shifts and places me on the floor. Then she starts to leave. I start to follow her. I can't move. Dove, wait! Wait, Dove! No, 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 no. Come back. Don't leave me. Dove, come back. Dove. We got turned into a doll. Oh! Wait, how are you supposed to time it? How are you supposed to time it? Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. We're not done. But we need to get Dove out of there. Whoa, hey. Cool. We're not done just yet. Purple smoke swirls around me, and like a parted curtain, the halls I had walked through the very first night reveal themselves. I steadily move forward and continue my search for Dove and desperately try not to think about the wood that creaks behind me. Above me, the joints of the dolls click with every unnerving twitch. I try to keep my heartbeat steady, my presence non-existent, but a strange noise from above me makes my paws tingle beneath me. It's all your fault. I pretend I don't hear it. Come on. My jaw aches, but I continue to push onwards. Dove is so close, I can feel it. And the footsteps behind me are as well. The dolls above seem to be growing restless. He took us here for you. They look for me vigilantly. It's a terrible idea, but I hasten the pace of the swinging throughble. Oh, fuck. No. Come on. My nerves are wound so tight I feel like the pressure in my chest is on the verge of imploding. But I hear her. My ears pick up Dove's small sobs behind a door. The smoke materializes it before me. My heart leaps with relief. We can finally leave together. A noise halts my steps. I stop so abruptly that I drop the throughble. No! The sound of something tearing turns my blood into ice. It's not paper, not fabric that is torn. It is something much more terrifying. It's a space itself forced apart. Threads broken and parted, allowing something to come through. The door that bars me from reaching Dove explodes in a mess of splinters. I duck onto the floor as debris showers me. Down the hall, every other door follows the same pattern. I force myself to look up through sawdust that pricks my eyes. Dove cowers on the floor, shielding her head with her arms from the wood that had rained down on her from the explosion. I can see her palms smeared with blood. When I look down to the floor before, I can faintly make out smudges of crimson under the debris. Dark tears drip down Dove's cheeks as she stares at something with wide eyes. Uh-oh. The smell of sulfur pierces the air. Then the growl comes. My body trembles in horror. I prayed I would never have to hear them again. The sound that comes from inside the room are the exact same ones that had started this entire nightmare. I hear the tap of sharp nails on the floorboards and jerk back from the door. Bile threatens to crawl up my throat. My ears lay back and my tail crawls between my legs. No, It can't be. Dove looks so small compared to the shadow that stretches over her. I failed. I found you, little wolf. I turn my head slowly. No. I cower back from the witch and the growls that come from Dove's room. I feel my whole body go numb with defeat. Dove cries out as the creature moves for her and the witch's arms light up with spells. He clenches his teeth and blood runs down from his nose. Infernal tunnels blow out from the palms of his hands. The creature launches itself at Dove and meet the witch's flames. That burns into nothing, and I only watch helplessly as Dove crawls away from the violence until she's curled up against a wall. When the beast is nothing but ashes, the witch casually steps over the cinders and walks over to his daughter. Come now, little one. You're gone now. He beckons her towards him, and I watch as she throws her arms around his shoulders and cries into them. The witch picks Dove up into his arms, and he moves towards me. Oh gods. A wave of nausea rolls through me. I have to run. I step back, then I feel something dig into my flesh. I look down and see black threads wrap around my body. I cry out and try to pull away from it, but it ensnares me completely like a web. I look down to polished shoes and whimper. I raise my gaze up to Dove in desperation. She looks at me through tear-streaked eyes, then looks away. Oh. My ears completely flatten. It's over. The witch reaches for something behind me. In an instant, I see the flash of a dagger. Don't worry. Your death will be of great use to me. Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? My love, finally, after so long, you're back. Wicked one. Come out, my darling. Oh, shit. That's why she didn't... Oh, no. Okay. I'm not that mad anymore. We have so much work to do. I have so much to teach you. Come, look, Dove. This is what the weakness looks like. I'll make sure you never know it. That was a bad ending, too? What? What? What's the good ending? Holy shit. Oh, there's more roses. Okay. Well, shit. God, stuff. What is wrong with your family? That's saying something. Oh my god. Well, that happened. Tia made it back, but so, I'm gonna guess that the witch got greedy and wanted to be more powerful than his wife, Tia. Started killing people and, you know, having their bodies buried by the mansion, and eventually his wife tried to, like, kill him at some point, and he just was like, Uno reverse, bitch, and started using blood caps to try and match her level, essentially. Like, get up to be on par with her. And he thought, oh, well, if I bring my wife back, now that I'm more powerful, I can, you know, do whatever I want, and we're gonna be a happy family, yada yada yada. I still want to know what those monsters are. God, it's poor Dove, though. In both scenarios, it's fucked, because we don't exist anymore. Oh, no. Poor girl. Well, that's gonna be it. I might do some smaller episodes of this, just exploring, trying to find like the good ending. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the series, like, subscribe. It's on a playlist. Enjoy. I'll probably post, yeah, I'll post the results of me trying to find the good ending soon. Oh, God, no. Well, I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!